Luis Suarez belts out the national anthem. Surely this will be the last time we see him at a World Cup if Uruguay don't win today. They're very much got some veterans in their squad, Mickey Gray. They've got the experience. Have they got the performance in them today? What's your gut feeling as to who goes through today?
Well, I mean, you look at the ability that, well, I suppose both sides have got, but Valverde and Bentancur has been impressive for me. And he must be frustrated at times because of the way that Uruguay have set themselves up. But I'm really looking forward to that midfield battle along with Partey and Samed for Ghana. I think that's going to be won and lost in that situation. And if you can get your forward players on the ball as quick as you possibly can, I think that's why we all personally look at this game and hope that there's going to be goals, because it's going to be entertainment, there's no doubt about it. You just need to go for it. But you're right, it's an ageing side. Núñez up front with Suarez, but experienced with a bit of youth. But there's no doubt in the quality in those forward players. And then you look at those midfield guys for Ghana as well. There's quality all around. You just need to bring it to the World Cup in this final game of the group stage.
Certainly do. Daniel Siebert is our man in the middle. It's his second game in charge of a World Cup match. This time he took charge of Tunisia against Australia earlier in the tournament. Let's hope we're not talking about the officials. Let's hope the football on the field does its own talking today. We're a moments away from a start then. Ghana, who start the day on 3 points. A point might be enough for them, but a win and they're definitely in. For Uruguay, they've got Roche in goal, a back four of Oliveira, Coates, Jimenez and Varela. Then in the middle, it's Valverde, Bentancur and Diaracheta. And then up top, the tried and tested Suarez with Núñez and Pelistri either side. What about Ghana then? Altizigi in goal. Seydou, Amate, Salisu and Rachman across the back. Abdul Samed and Partey in the middle. And it's Andre and Jordan Ayew with Mohamed Kudus in the middle. And Inaki Williams up top. The blue of Uruguay with the black shorts and the black socks. We know those colours. They've won the World Cup twice in the long distant past. It's the all-white of Ghana as they look to make it through to the knockout stages for just the third time in their history. A lot at stake.
Oh, it's massive, Mark. And if anything like yesterday is to go by, then this is going to be a bonkers day. It was just... it was breathtaking to watch it on TV. Things were changing. The big nations were going out of the World Cup. Then in a split second, everybody else had turned round and they were actually staying in the World Cup. So it could happen today. We could have some flips and twists and turns. But I think you're right. We want to be talking about the football at the end of the day.
Well, it's the final day of group action at the Qatar World Cup. Cameroon, Brazil, 7 o'clock tonight from Group G on TalkSport with Jim Proudfoot and the former England man Stuart Pearce alongside Adrian Durham, and Serbia, Switzerland with Adam Bridge and the former Sheffield United women's striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk is on TalkSport 2. And tomorrow we're back in the EFL. Mickey and Albert at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland against Millwall, live and exclusive on TalkSport 2 ahead of the knockout stages, and we're underway here. And it's Ghana going from left to right, who got it early on this near side. Inaki Williams does well to keep it in. And it is going to be interesting as to what type of game we get today. I'm not convinced Ghana can keep Uruguay out, so they're going to need goals of their own.
It's the days of, right, okay, if you're going to score 3 goals, then we're going to have to try and score 4. We hope we're getting one of those games, Mark, because I think it'll be absolutely fantastic for this game in front of us and for the World Cup itself. But entertaining players, and they've got to go for it. Do not wait until the second half. Come out of the traps. Put a purpose on this football match that you are going to go out to win the game.
There's just been a strong challenge gone in there, and they're not happy about it, Uruguay. I think it's Jimenez that's come out on the end of it. Let's have another look at this. We just maybe caught him with a studs across the bottom of the shin, maybe, the Ghanaian player.
Yeah, and it's Kudus as well, yeah, so it's a little bit nasty. Look, players in that situation know what they're doing, Mark. There was a bit of contact there, and Kudus knows himself. He's just lifted the top of his foot, and the studs have scraped across Jimenez's shin pads. That's not nice. I've been in that situation on numerous occasions, and it's quite sore.
Otoado looks on, the coach of Ghana. He took charge ahead of their final qualification games that saw them get past Nigeria on away goals. Well, it won't be away goals that get it done tonight, but for Uruguay it's goals of any kind. They haven't scored in this World Cup yet. And the ball out of play. It's a little bit scratchy opening couple of minutes. Uruguay want to throw in midway inside the Ghana half, and they will bring it down now, and they'll go back to halfway. Both sides just keen to get an early touch.
Yeah, obviously done their homework. Both sets of players will know exactly what they need to do in this game, and it's about trying to find those gaps and winning those individual battles.
Salisu did really well there. The ball was played in towards the byline, and he didn't go to clear it. He just passed it into the legs of Polisu. He was sliding in trying to keep it in. He's got a goal kick. I thought that was really clever play.
Well, I'm not too sure it was a goal kick there, though, Mark. I think the last touch might have been from Salisu. But this is one of those battles, the centre halves playing against centre forwards of Uruguay, of Suarez and Nunez in there. How do you mark them? Do you try and keep the high press, or do you let the players try and run in behind you and beat them for pace? It's going to be so interesting.
Yeah, a little bit of skill from Aladou Seydou. Slides it forward up to halfway. Ghana coming forward now. They're looking to get the ball over the top for Andre Ayew. He acknowledges the pass, but Coates will let it run through to his goalkeeper, Sergio Rochel's, all in red today. You just look at the group that Uruguay came through in South American qualifying. It's almost like a World Cup in itself, isn't it? To get out of that's such a marathon, 10 countries involved in it, and then to come to the World Cup and perform like they have, they must be bitterly disappointed, but they're not out of it yet, and there's a chance out here for Kudus. 25 yards out, he's picked the ball up, gets it away to Partey, just hesitated on it too long there, and Aracheta's nicked it off him, and here come Uruguay forward through the middle of the midfield with Bentancur, tries to find Nunez, who claims he was pulled down on the edge of the area, but Sievert's having none of that, and it's all the way through to Atizigi, in goal away to our left.
Well, Thomas Partey should know that better than anybody on this pitch. You do not get that much time in the midfield area. He dwells on the ball. It's taken away from him by Bentancur. Bentancur then starts to drive towards the edge of the area. I mean, just looking at Nunez, I just thought he looked like he was going to lose that ball. His first touch was played in between the two centre halves. He's gone to ground because he wasn't going to get on the end of it. Had us look at the referee. Look, they all play the game, but I just personally think he'd lost that battle.
Ghana have just knocked it long and forward, and it's picked up by Ghana over on the far side. It's gone out over on the far side. It's still 0-0 here, and it's a throw-in for Ghana. You're live on TalkSport 2. Every game of the World Cup from Qatar is across the TalkSport network, and with the EFL back tomorrow, plenty of EFL action as well to come across the next few weeks as we build up to Christmas, when the Premier League will have all 10 games live Boxing Day onwards across the TalkSport network. It never ends the football, does it?
Well, it doesn't end for us either, Mark, does it? I mean,
don't complain, Mickey, don't complain.
Never ever complain. But we've got a great game in front of us now, with two sides that are obviously still trying to get to those knockout stages of this World Cup, and they've just got to give everything. But I think overall, the games that we've seen, I've really enjoyed this World Cup, I have to say. I think it's been entertaining. You've got most of the sides that have actually gone out, all out, to try and win football matches, and that's what you want to see. You want to see the top countries going as far as they possibly can, but the upsets and new individual players bursting onto the scene. I think we've had it all.
We have indeed. Suarez just tried to get him down the left-hand side for Uruguay. Just didn't have the legs to get round the defence. It was kept in, but Uruguay have got it back deep inside their own half. They come up to the halfway line now. 5.5 gone, 0-0. Ghana, Uruguay. Still, I'm hearing there's been a goal in the other game across on TalkSport, and it is Portugal who have taken the lead against South Korea. Well, that's good news, certainly for both these two sides. If Portugal go on and win that, they would have a 100% record. It would mean a point for Ghana would send them through. It also means if Uruguay win this game, they go straight through as well. So it's Ricardo Horta's got the goal for Portugal. 1-0 there. That's live on TalkSport right now, and that will lift the spirits of both sets of fans inside the Al Janoub. Ghana know a win anywhere and they're through, and they've won a free kick here. Bentancur just pulling at the shirt of Kudus, who got a double in that win over South Korea last time out, and a free kick about 35 yards out from goal.
Yeah, Kudus, yeah. He's a talented player. You have to be so careful when you're watching him. And Bentancur just giving him a little high five there. he is a player, and I just mentioned it before, Mark, he's a player that is going to be on everybody's lips, kudos, around Europe. He's obviously a talented player, playing at Ajax, where all of the top European sides definitely will be having a look at him after this World Cup.
Only 22 years of age, as the free kick played across to the far side. A bit of an unnecessary challenge goes in there, and it's going to be a free kick for the foul over on the far side on Varela, and the keeper will come to the edge of his area to take it. Still 0-0, no real chances of yet, 7 minutes in, but that hasn't stopped the fans singing there, enjoying the World Cup as well. But who will be still here come the knockout stages that start tomorrow? You'll hear every game of those knockout stages live on the TalkSport network. If you've got the app, you won't miss anything. As now here come Ghana down their right hand side. Inaki Williams, his pass forward is blocked out. It's been a pretty even start, hasn't it, Mickey Gray?
Yeah, but it's not really got going, let's be honest. I think it's been a little bit scrappy at times. You can feel that the tension in the players, just obviously working either side out, knowing where they can try and break them down. It's got that feel about it, and the players have got to work it out. And who works it out quicker than the other will probably find themselves in front in the game.
Well, Suarez has just played a nice ball down the right-hand side to try and get on the end of it. Uruguay, they'll point back to the edge of the area, but there's no sky blue shirt anywhere near it. And Partey just picks up the ball, edge of his own area. Well, you're just waiting for a blue shirt to enter the fray, but the pass there wasn't the best. In the end, it'll find Aladou Seydou on this near side. Both fullbacks changed for Ghana in this one. And now the ball fed through to Ayew, gets it away on this near side. Kudus has it, he'll go back inside his own half. Ghana just trying to play a bit of keep ball, but that was a little bit too easy, wasn't it, for Uruguay? Just that one pass down the right hand side, they were in.
It was, and it's Pelistri again. I mean, he's used his pace, he's got to the byline, great little ball down the line, but then he's tried to be a little bit too clever without looking up. He's pulled the ball back to just around about the penalty area, but Núñez had made that run into the 6-yard box. If you get a chance to whip it across in front of the goalkeeper, you don't let your centre forwards down, you get it across there with pace.
Yeah, not had a lot of football, of course. The Manchester United player, only 20. Thought he got in some great positions in the opening game, but really failed to deliver any meaningful balls in. There's just a free kick given away here. The foul from Valverde. And Ghana have got a free kick. How did Ghana play this? Look, they'll know already that South Korea are behind. That means a point gets them through, but I often find in situations like this, once you've got something to hang on to, that's when the real pressure starts. When you almost nothing to lose, you have in effect got nothing to lose. You just have a go for it. But all of a sudden, Ghana have got something to hang on to now.
Well, they have, Mark. But let's not forget, there's still 80 minutes and added time in this game, and I think that's too early to maybe sit back and try and soak up pressure, as we saw. Last night when Japan played Spain, I think for the last 15-20 minutes they got everybody behind the ball.
They were in pretty well, though.
It was incredible. I mean, Spain only had really one chance. So that's where you need to be in the game. If Ghana know the situation with 10 or 15 minutes to go, then they can do exactly the same thing. Then it's up to Uruguay to break them down if they haven't already achieved that. So this is what makes it so interesting, and how they approach this game, Ghana. But at the moment, they have to go for it. They've got to go out and try and win the match.
So 0-0 here. Portugal lead by a goal to 0 in the other game in this group. And it means that this in effect now is a shootout for a place in the last 16. And Uruguay just can't keep the ball in over on the far side, so there'll be a throw-in to Ghana. Remember that Group G concludes tonight. Brazil, Cameroon, Switzerland, Serbia still to come. And again, whilst Brazil are through, any of the other three could join them in the latter stages. The ball out again, and both managers look pensive on the sideline. Diego Alonso of Uruguay, Otto Addo of Ghana, both not long really been in charge of their two teams, but under big pressure already.
This is like the pinnacle. It has to be for certain managers who love national football and World Cups and Euros. Coming to the World Cup and being a manager, you're saying new managers in, well, not so much just new, but Addo and Alonso, what a feeling it must be to walk out your teams.
Yeah. Well, they played in the World Cups as well, so they've got that. They know what it's all about. Here you go Uruguay trying to get down the right hand side. Real wrestle over on the far side. Salis Abdul Samed, I think, adjudged to have pushed that too far in the eyes of the referee Daniel Siebert, and it's a free kick on halfway, and still we wait for the first real opportunity.
Yeah, and is that's one of the ways that you can stop Valverde. You just have to grab him around the waist to stop him, because his energy levels are incredible, aren't they? He's a box-to-box midfield player.
Well, they are down the right, Uruguay. They put the cross in, but the keeper takes it nicely. Mati Ziggy making his 14th appearance for Ghana. He's all in green, a traditional goalkeeping strip. You see so many different colours these days, but he's got the green on, and he's just encouraging his team to go forward. In fact, he's all in green. He's even got the green leggings on today as he punts it downfield. All flicked on here. Nunez has maybe got him behind here. He just miscontrolled the edge of the box, and that allowed Ghana to get in and clear it away. And not for the first time today, Mickey Gray. Nunez in with a great chance, and he doesn't even get to have a shot.
Well, you have to question Darwin Nunez in that situation. Look, he does ever so well at the beginning because he runs in behind. He's got the centre half. He's on the shoulder of him. But why is he not taking that towards his left foot? He tries to get it onto his stronger right foot. You can see as the ball's cleared. My God, is this a player who should have full of confidence there? It's great. Down to the left-hand side. He misses the ball, tries to work it onto his right.
Seydou in the nick of time just nicked it away from him. It was a lovely flick on from Suarez that put him in. And again, you maybe question, was that a little bit too easy? But he didn't even get towards having a shot at the end of that run. As now here come Ghana. They're looking to work it out wide on their right-hand side. Seydou, who's just stopped a chance at one end, is now working it forward. Here's Abdul Samed in the middle of the field. You see parts of the pitch is starting to cut up. These pitches have seen a lot of football in a short space of time, but the surface still playing well. There's a little flip round the corner from Williams. He can't keep it in. It's out for a Uruguay throw. 14 gone on TalkSport 2. Mark Wilson with Mickey Gray. Still 0-0.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it, Mark, when either side get into that final third. Uruguay are committing a few players forward, but the lack of quality when they've been into really good positions on 2 or 3 occasions has to improve. And Ghana themselves, I think they've got to try and do a little bit more in that midfield area. It's been controlled by Uruguay, but they've been let off because of the scrappiness in the final third.
Yeah, they've not really had any meaningful possession in the final third, have they, Ghana, as yet? The ball's out for a throw-in over on the far side of the field. Portugal still lead by that goal to 0 in the other game. That's live right now across on TalkSport. If you've got the app, you can swipe left and right. If you've not got it, then you can download it in all the usual places. It's free and easy to use. There's a nice turn there from Kudus in midfield. Gets it out wide. Here's Inaki Williams. Williams looks to go back left. Now this could be a chance. Kudus is on that far post. They might be having the shot edge of the area. Shot comes in. Keeper spills it. Kudus on the follow-up has gone down. He's gone down, but I think he's going to be deemed he was offside. Wow. The referee here, has he just saved Uruguay? Because that goalkeeping was none too convincing there from Rocher.
It was awful goalkeeping. Really good move from Ghana. Work left to right. Kudus starting it off. Got the talented players involved. I think it's Ayew eventually with the strike. Jordan Ayew. And it's got a lot of power on it, but it's a simple save, or it should be. I mean, I might be doing him a disservice here. Did it take a little bit of a slight deflection? Not sure, but that's better from Ghana. End-to-end, talented football. They've got to do with that a lot more.
And interesting, Kudus was pushed wide on the follow-up, but he flicked it over the onrushing keeper, and there would have been a decision to make there about a penalty, wouldn't there? Yeah. I'll say, if he was offside, I think they're checking this. I thought he was onside, are you? Now, if he's onside, then they will have to look at that being a penalty.
Well,
because Kudus flicked the ball over Rocher. He came down, I thought he took him out. It was really tight, Mickey, really tight on first glance. And now they are VAR checking this, and Suarez is there. Well, he knows all about penalties in this fixture. They're still checking
Mark,
this.
I'm just wondering if the referee runs across to the side of the pitch, we know what is coming here. But as we saw yesterday, anything can happen. This is Well, it looks like he's going to wave it away, but he's still speaking to the VAR.
They're still looking at this, Mickey.
Oh, this is incredible.
They're still looking. It was a shot from centre goal. They're judging that Ayew was stood in front of the goalkeeper, was in an offside position. He's going to look at the screen. He's going to look at the screen, and that surely can only mean one thing. Suarez is chasing him, but he can do nothing about this. Is this going to be a penalty? Rocher, in my opinion, it looked like he brought Kudus down, and the referee's going to consult with VAR, and on that still alone, it's got to be a penalty. If
the goalkeeper's made no contact with his ball with Kudus, then it has to be it's a penalty. Look, Mark, if he's in an onside position, he flicks the ball over the top of Rocher. He's made the mistake. He's not made any contact with the ball. There's contact with Kudus. This is a penalty.
It was a great flick. I thought at the time, even when the referee had given offside, you think that was very clever. He's just flicked it over the keeper, and the keeper can't go anywhere. He's already committed. Full length dive. Well, he's had a look. What's he going to say, Siebert? He comes back onto the field. Well, this is a fixture. It's only been played once before. It was packed with drama then, and it's going to be packed with drama here. It is a penalty. Ghana have got a penalty. It might not be for a place in the semi-finals of the World Cup, but it could be for a place in the last 16. And Uruguay protest. But if he's onside for mine, that is a penalty.
Well, everything's been checked, Mark. As we've seen, the VAR yesterday, it was so important. Everybody thought the ball was out to play, but this here, as Kudus makes that run, the first initial thing you are thinking in your head is, are you onside or are you offside? Well, he's clearly deemed that he's onside. As he flicks the ball over Rocher, then we're asking, has Rocher made any contact with the ball? Well, no, he hasn't. It's a great flick from Kudus, and then the contact comes from the goalkeeper. He's arguing the point, but he knows himself.
Well, look at this. Uruguay are surrounding the referee. The goalkeeper's pointing at the TV, saying, look at that, I never touched it. Well, they've looked at the TV. Now there's some pushing and shoving.
They're on the penalty spot, Mark, as well.
They're on the penalty spot. There's a yellow card for Nunez. And I think there might be one or two more coming out here. Nunez reacts. He's not happy with that. Wow, it's all kicking off here. Well, there's all that talk about revenge. It's like history's repeating itself almost here.
Well, they were all involved, and Luis Suarez was the man who was chasing the referee off the pitch when he said, I'm going to have a look at the monitor for VAR.
It's going to be Andre Ayew, by the way. Already got one goal in this World Cup. So 24 in his career for Ghana. And he marks out his run-up. Very deliberate, almost like he's going to kick a goal in the rugby. Let's hope this one goes under and not over the crossbar. If you're a Ghana fan, Rocher looking to redeem himself. Short run-up for Ayew. It'll be a left-footed penalty to give Ghana the lead. 20 minutes on the clock. It's been an awful long delay before he's been allowed to take this one. Which way will he go? Andre Ayew waits. Keeper bounces up and down on the spot. Here he comes, really slow run up, really slow walking, and he's saved. It was a horrible penalty, and once again Ghana missed from the spot against Uruguay when it really matters. But from the second Andre Ayew started that run up, Mickey Gray, you were never convinced he was going to score.
It was if you're his teammate, I'm having a word with him as soon as I possibly can. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. You give yourself a great situation of taking the lead in a game that is a massive game, the final one of the group stages, and Andre Ayew, I mean, that's just cockiness and confidence beyond belief. You can sense where he's going to go with that strike, Mark, before he actually takes it, and Rocher jumps across to his left-hand side and makes the save. I was never convinced. I'm so disappointed. Well, what a poor penalty.
It's actually Panenka's birthday today. I saw that on social media. I thought when he walked up he was just going to do the Panenka. He barely had the power to get over the line.
It was awful. Absolutely awful.
Still 0-0. Well, Ghana and Ayew's got to keep his head. I think Uruguay are trying to rattle him a bit more here. They're giving him a little bit of verbal as he runs back. which I thought he was innocent in terms of the penalty. It won't go down as a fantastic penalty save, but they all count. It really was a poorly struck penalty. And down low to his left, he keeps it out. It's still 0-0 on TalkSport 2. But Ghana will not get a better opportunity than that.
It's just a massive opportunity. You find yourself in this position, Mark. You get up there and you put your laces through it. I know you see certain kinds of penalties at certain times in games, but that was a one where you just need to just stand up and get your laces through it with a lot of power, and then it put Ghana in such a strong position. But they have a chance here.
Yeah, here they are. Nunez is in, chips it over the keeper, and Salisu clears it off the line. Uruguay thought they were in there. Salisu saves Ghana. This time Nunez did get the shot away, but it was Salisu that got back and kept it out, and it came from, I think it was Salisu's error. In fact, he got back, didn't he, covering across, and helped out Amate, who gave the ball away. Nunez didn't do too much wrong that time.
No, that's better. That's the Darwin Nunez that we want to see, not arguing with the referees and getting himself in the book with the yellow card. We want to see him playing on the centre-half shoulder, winning the ball back from Amate. He was the one who made the mistake. But that little dink over the goalkeeper there as well, Atizigi, was absolutely fantastic. Just needed a little bit more pace on it. But take nothing away from Salisu. Absolutely wonderful defending.
Still 0-0. Corner Uruguay. Whipped in near post. Cleared away. It'll go back to the corner taker. Then it goes back towards Valverde. But Uruguay are going to be pushed back as they chase their way out. They will actually go all the way back to their goalkeeper. Well, it was Ayo, the most experienced player in the squad, that took the penalty. But it was not an experienced finish. It was a nervy, and the stuttered run-up had everyone dreading it.
Mark, if that's the situation that knocks Ghana out of the World Cup, then you deserve criticism.
Well, here come Uruguay again, and they're just starting to flick the passes around on the edge of the area. They'll bring it away. Amadou Seidu's started well, but he loses control and it's out for a throw-in. The stats will say that 5 of 14 penalties have been saved so far. There were only 4 in 29 that was saved in the last tournament. That's not including penalty shootouts. So more penalties missed, and we've not even got to the knockout stages yet.
No, that's incredible, isn't it? Look, I know that the players are under pressure. I know that. But if you're under pressure, the best things normally to do is you get to the penalty spot, you pick your spot, and then you just stick the ball in the back of the net. If the keeper then makes the save, then so be it.
Just seeing we're actually just getting a VAR replay of the offside onside, and he was on by about 6 inches or so. In fact, if I would have got a flick, it may well have gone in the net anyway, but the good play from Kudus was just wasted by that penalty, and it remains 0-0. Uruguay have created the most in open play, but the best chance really has fallen the way of Ghana, but it remains on TalkSport 2 0-0.
He's obviously the designated penalty taker, Andre Ayew, isn't he? Take nothing away from Russia. I think it's a save he should make. But Kudus, the man of the moment, I suppose, the young man with full of confidence. I'm just wondering whether he maybe has to take the penalty. They must have a designated penalty. That's why Ayew took it.
Well, there was a long time, wasn't there, to wait. But here go Uruguay, and they'll have been spurred on by that. Remember, they know a win here with the result as it is elsewhere. There's a chance. It's Suarez on his right foot. Good save, keeper. Going to be headed in. Uruguay have the lead. Diarachento's headed it in on the line. It was Suarez's shot that was kept out, but Uruguay made Ghana pay. Ghana missed from the spot. Uruguay score. They lead by a goal to 0.
This game is just absolutely incredible. A missed penalty at one end, and then 3 or 4 minutes later, Luis Suarez, the ball bounces to him. I think he was as surprised as anybody that ball actually fell to him. Great little chop inside onto his right foot. Got his strike away, but not clean. Deflected towards the goal, and Diaraccheta just runs in and finishes off that opportunity. What a turnaround in this game from Uruguay. They're now in the driving seat. It's incredible.
Again, it came from turnover ball. Both the centre-halves missed it. Suarez didn't panic, got the shot away, but as the ball was parried away towards the far post, There he was to head it in. And there's one number 10 missed at one end. The man in blue wearing number 10 didn't miss at the other. 1-0. And Uruguay, as it stands, are going into the last 16. Although I'm hearing there's going to be a goal on TalkSport. South Korea might have levelled up against Portugal. Talk about a massive minute in the World Cup. Uruguay going front. And now Korea have hit straight back on TalkSport. Uruguay looking for a second here. Diarra lays it off. There's a bit of a push in the air. It falls to Suarez. Suarez cross-come shot wasn't powerful, and it was cleared away. Dramatic stuff at the World Cup, as it has been throughout. You've heard it all live across the TalkSport network. Uruguay are leading, but South Korea have levelled it up. Get the abacus out, Mickey. We might need it.
Well, here we go again. It's just one of those days. It's incredible, isn't it? Well, I go back to those moments in football matches that are so important, Mark. They go and miss a penalty, and look what happens. Uruguay break down the other end, and now it's Ghana who've got it all to do.
Well, that goal for South Korea means that they are a step nearer winning. In fact, they need to win, don't they? Uruguay at the minute are leading, but Korea have got themselves back in it with a point there. Wow, they are back in it. We thought maybe that game could be over. Portugal leading early on, that if Korea win and Uruguay win, it'll all come down to goal difference, goals scored. So much at stake.
Well, there certainly is. And this game is in the balance, because we know that Ghana concede goals, they can score goals.
All into the edge of the area. Here come Ghana. They want to get back in. If they could get a point here, but the cross, it should be too near the keeper, but he catches it right under his crossbar there, Rocher. And it is Uruguay 1. So Uruguay at the moment are going to be the team in second. They have 4 points as it stands. Ghana have got 3, but Korea have got 2. South Korea, but you're back in that thing where South Korea only need 1 goal and they're going through.
Yeah. Well, isn't it? It's just fantastic. And now Portugal, you know, they've got it all on themselves. They want to try and win every single game of the group stages if they possibly can. And this is why, when you get opportunities and chances to score goals, you have to try and take them. Uruguay, it's taken them 3 games, but they've now broken the deadlock.
And they look like they're going to score a few more as well. They've just given away a foul. Andre Ayew has been brought down. 1-0 Uruguay lead, but that's not really the tape. Ayew misses from the spot on 21 minutes. Sheta goes up the other end and heads in from a yard out. He couldn't miss. It's 1-0. Uruguay are going through. Korea need a goal. Ghana need a goal.
Scary. And I think Ghana themselves have got to just settle themselves down a little bit, because as you mentioned, Mark, it's Uruguay who are certainly getting on top now. They're finding too much space in that final third. Look, they'll play the game. Luis Suarez just going to ground now with another bit of is it a nasty foul, or is he just playing the game, using his experience?
Well, he got the ball just inside the... I think he's just stamped on his foot there, hasn't he, the full-back, Alidou Seydou. I'm surprised that the referee's not taken more retribution over that one, but it is just a free kick at the moment. Nunez, the only player booked so far, and that was for dissent in the build-up to the penalty. 1-0 Uruguay lead here on TalkSport 2. Over on TalkSport, South Korea 1, Portugal 1. Ronaldo's just gone close again. Ghana fans in the ground, they're dumbfounded. They'll still be thinking about that penalty.
I mean, I think one of the things I would say, Mark, is you're obviously brave enough to step up to take the penalty in the first place, but you're being given an opportunity like that. Look, he's already got 1 goal at the World Cup.
Here's Suarez at the other, tries to get it away. Diarra on the volley! 2-0! 2 goals in quick succession, and Uruguay now are in command against Ghana, and that penalty miss looks worse and worse by the second. It's a clinical finish from close in. It's gone straight through the goalkeeper. It's Ghana 0, Uruguay 2.
It's brilliant. I have to say, you can criticise Luis Suarez sometimes when you think his work rate isn't there and he isn't the player that he used to be. But how clever when that ball comes into the air. We said that Uruguay looked as if they were the stronger team and they were going to get that second goal. They win the ball back, they get it into the 18-yard area, and Luis Suarez, I have to say, that flick over the top for Arrascaeta is absolutely top draw. Knowing where your teammates are, that is fantastic.
He's hit it on the volley first time. Whether the keeper will feel he maybe could have kept that out, but I think just the sheer speed of the shot has caught him out. It's almost gone underneath him before he's been allowed to move his legs, and it's just ultimately gone straight through him. 2-0.
Yeah, it's a fantastic finish, Mark. He's just finished off a really good move from Uruguay. Full of confidence. He's already got himself on the score sheet. Simple little tapping with his head, but this one, I do question the centre-half of Amati and how much he wanted to make the challenge. Big centre-half, running across, trying to stop Uruguay scoring their second goal. And Arrascaeta is just braver than the centre-half. Keeps his eyes on the ball. It's a wonderful volley and a brilliant finish from the little man.
Well, what it is doing now as well is it's making inroads in the goal difference column should South Korea get another goal. Well, it's all happening here, but Ghana, as Benson Kerr's down injured, that will be of concern to fans of Uruguay and Tottenham Hotspur alike. He's just getting some treatment. A little bit of concern on the Uruguayan face. There's concern on Otto Addo as well. His side had a wonderful opportunity to take the lead, and you talk about game-defining moments. You know, we mentioned that missed penalty at the 2010 World Cup. That's been a defining moment in African football. They've missed another one.
Yeah, of course they have, and that's what's going to ruin their opportunities. Now they've got it all to do. And we talked about game management, Mark, didn't we? And I think Uruguay, if they can hang on to this 2-goal lead for as long as they possibly can, they know that the Ghana team have to come out and take risks, try and break them down, and then it's up to Uruguay of how they want to work out which way this game's going to play.
Well, we mentioned that problem for Benson Kerr. He's actually leaving the field, and he looks quite upset as well as he makes his way off. He's gone straight to sit down on the bench. Messino has come on for him, so that will be a worry, and Spurs fans will be keeping an eye. They'll be keen for news on that one. The Premier League back, Boxing Day onwards. Well, Ghana look shell-shocked at the moment. Clearly they're not out of it yet, but they're 2 goals behind, and you have to say this is the Uruguay performance that we expected throughout the group stage, and maybe we haven't quite seen.
Yeah, absolutely. But then you have to think about this back line of Ghana, who conceded goals already in this tournament, 5 goals. Luis Suarez is now showing us the quality that he's got in those forward positions. I think he just needed a lot of players alongside him. As you're playing as a centre forward, the more players you can get up the pitch, the better it's going to be for your side. And Valverde, he's done it on a couple of occasions. Pelistri's got into nice positions, but Arrascaeta, I mean, that second finish is absolutely top class. He just wants it more than the Ghana centre-halves. And I said Marty, I've had the chance to see it again, Mark. If you're a centre-half and you're stretching out a right foot rather than throwing your body at that to stop the player from getting his strike away, I think that just tells everything about the desire of the player.
Yeah, Uruguay clear it forward again. Well, what I would say is that there's been 10 goals before today in Ghana games. They've conceded 3 and they've conceded 2. They've conceded 2 again. We said when we spoke to Will Gavin earlier on from 888 Sport, we expected goals today. We've had 2. We could easily have had more. But Ghana know that they're going to have to score at least twice if they're going to get anything out of this. They trail by 2-0, and you can feel the disappointment in their fans, who are so vociferous in the lead up to this game. They were so vociferous when they got the penalty, but that penalty miss onwards, it's been a horrific 15 minutes for them.
Yeah, because, I mean, again, Ghana got themselves into some really good positions. Just before that, they had the strike, I think it was Jordan Ayew, that Roche saved. And then they looked as if they were a real threat. We obviously talk about Kudus when he gets on the ball.
Well, here he is now. He's 25 yards out. He lets fly, and it's deflected wide, and that was a brave block. Well, you just mentioned defenders throwing themselves at it. and that's exactly what Jimenez has done. It's out for a corner.
There's the difference. That's what you want your defenders to do. Stand in front of the ball, make themselves big. Oh yes, we know he's hurt himself in the wrong position, but that's defending for me, Mark. If you're a defender, you get your body, anything you can in front of that ball to stop it going in your goal.
Well, can Ghana give themselves a lifeline here? 8 before the break, whipped in near post. Suarez is there to head it away. And it's cleared away. Nunez gives him a pat on the back, out for another corner. 2-0. If they can nick one back, then it gives Uruguay something to think about. Ball now going to be swung in again. Same area, same outcome. Suarez heads it away, but this time it was that easy for him. He headed it away up towards halfway, and Ghana just kick it out for a throw-in. They look shell-shocked at the moment. What would your message be to them? They've got 8 minutes to try and just keep their heads before half-time, but then the coach has got to get to work on this lot.
Well, absolutely. I think they've just got to calm themselves down a little bit. The referee, the manager can take them in at half-time. He can readdress the situation if you need to change things up, because we know that they've done it before. They've come from behind, they can score goals, they have got that individual brilliance at times, but as I mentioned before, somehow you've got that know-how of the Uruguayans. It's very, very difficult to try and break them down, certainly when they've got that 2-goal lead now, Mark, because they can now dictate the game, keep hold of the ball as much as they can. If they want to go for their 3rd goal, go for it. If not, they can see out games. They're dogged and they're really hard to break down.
Yeah, they are. We mentioned that tough qualification group that they came through. Only Brazil and Argentina bettered them in that. This is a top quality outfit we're watching. They have been disappointed in their opening 2 games, certainly in terms of results. And they'll knock it long. Korea 1, Portugal 1 is live on TalkSport right now. Ball played forward, and here go Uruguay again down the right-hand side. Nunez looks up. There's no one in the box. He'll cut it back, will he? Tried to find Suarez. Well, Nunez there. Suarez is out, muscled edge of the area, and Ghana will bring it forward, and Ghana are working their way up towards halfway. They're going to get a free kick. Nunez has done everything right there, but you saw him have a look, Mickey. There was nobody in the box.
He's done really well. He's got him behind the back line of Ghana. He's used his pace, but then you can see after he's chopped that ball back onto his left foot, he's always looking for Luis Suarez, and it was a pass that was never on. He would have probably been better of trying to just keep it in the 18-yard box, having a couple of more touches and maybe making something happen for himself.
Well, Suarez is having a real go at Daniel Siebert about
that. He wanted a penalty. It was never a penalty,
well, the ball's going down the Ghana left. They put the cross in. It should be cleared away, and it is cleared away, and Uruguay now will look to bring it forward. In steps Amati, and the ball in midfield with Thomas Partey. They need his experience, his quality. Ghana now is going to get something out of this game. Seydou comes down the right-hand side, over the halfway line he goes. Dummies to cross, he's sent his defender away, cuts into the edge of the area, just dwelt on it. First time cross comes in, keeper comes to collect and gets there under no real pressure. And I think Seydou had a chance to put that ball in earlier than he did there, and that maybe was a chance gone.
And Seydou, he's a player I've really liked in these tournaments. I think he's lost his temper on a couple of occasions. I think the referee had a word with him in the first game, but other than that, his energy levels are really good. He loves to burst down the right-hand side. He's got good quality when he gets there. But don't let your centre forwards down if you get into a good position to put the ball into the area, which they've done on a couple of occasions in this game already.
Yeah, long ball forward from Ghana. 5 to go to the break on TalkSport 2. Uruguay lead by 2-0. All that coming after Andre, who missed from the spot on 20 minutes. Diaracheta, 2 goals in 6 minutes for him. The first header in from close range. The second, a lovely first-time volley, went straight through the keeper and into the back of the net. And if Ghana are going to get anything out of this game, then it will be one of the biggest comebacks we will have seen in the recent World Cup history. Ball in the centre circle, just passing it around Ghana now. You can sense in the ground, everybody's, I think even the Uruguay fans are a little bit stunned after how quickly this game has turned around as Ghana put the ball in the box. It'll be recycled on the right-hand side. Seydou had the chance to put it in. Gets it away to Kudus now. He tries to go round his man. He's got 2 in front of him. Uruguay know where the threat is, and they see it in that number 20. They clear it away from him, and there Seydou went sliding in, and he maybe got trodden on there. Referee is going to finally blow for a free kick, but to Uruguay, after Suarez was caught. He's down injured. And again, maybe just buying his side a little bit of time, but Alidou Seydou is looking at his chest there, Mickey Gray. Might have a bit of a scratch on it,
well,
I think.
I'm just wondering who Seydou made the challenge on. I'm not too sure if it was Luis Suarez who came back to defend, but he was too honest, Seydou. When you see the challenge, when he goes to ground, it's the goal scorer, Arrascaeta, and that is nasty. That is a stamp. There's no way that he's trying to play the ball, and this is one of those situations, Mark. If VAR have a look at this is going to get out of hand, because that's a stamp.
Wow. I don't know if he was trying to... He thought he could step before him and not over him. I don't know. It's a tight one, isn't it? But it would have hurt. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't even look as if it is going to get looked at, and that's a real surprise to me, because in my book, Mark, that's a stamp. I don't care where it is on your body, if it's on your leg, the lower leg, it's around his midriff, but that was a stamp to me. Look, he's had a brilliant first half, Arrascaeta, with the 2 goals that he's got, but haven't seen the replay of that. That's a stamp.
Well, he didn't even get a free kick, so that's that. Free kick Uruguay, 3 to go to the break. 2-0 Uruguay lead. And the ball on halfway. 7 in 8 starts now for Arrascaeta on the Uruguayan side of things. He's certainly providing the goal threat at the moment. Ball back to the halfway line. Uruguay have it. They'd love a third before half time, but there's nobody in the box at the moment, and then there's a poor foul goes in over on the far side on the goal scorer, and this will be a free kick in a dangerous position wide on the Uruguay right hand side.
Yeah, well, they're going to keep playing the game, Uruguay. Any contact, they will go to ground, and I said the physicality of both sides here, it could get out of hand. Let's hope that it doesn't. We want to see this game finish 11v11, but Uruguay, as you've mentioned, Mark, they are in the driving seat at the moment.
They are. 2 stand over it. Valverde is there for the left-footed option. Right-footed option to swing it in if they want to. Plenty of white shirts in there. Bit of light jostling at the moment. I don't want to do anything too serious at the minute, but a chance from a set piece here. They're holding a high line, Ghana, on the edge of their 18-yard box. They can't afford surely to concede again here. Ball's going to be whipped in from the right. It's a good delivery, and it bounces edge of the 6-yard box. It was cleared away, and Suarez retreats to the far side. Oh, and the nutmegs. He's into the edge of the area now. And in the end, Seydou blocked it. Bounced off Suarez, who once again gives the referee pelters, and it's out for a goal kick. But that was a beautiful bit of skill from Suarez.
It's class. Absolutely class from Suarez. It's like the Suarez of old. Look, he hasn't got that burst of pace to try and get on the end and in back into the 18-yard box, but the little nutmeg is just what we used to see on a regular occurrence in the Premier League, but then normally sticking the ball in the back of the net.
Ball up towards Jordan Ayew. Seems an eternity ago since Andre Ayew missed that penalty that would have given Ghana the lead, and on the way to a win that would have guaranteed them a spot in the last 16. 8 added on minutes here. 8 added on minutes. Had that big delay for the VAR check. We've also had a couple of stoppages as well. Seydou goes past his man down the right hand side. He then checked and tried to beat him again, and he gets bundled over, and now forward will come Oliveira. Oliveira cuts in field and gets it away. This is a big 8 minutes in this World Cup now for both these two sides, but you have to say Uruguay at the moment looking the more likely as they continue to push forward down that right hand side. Nunez holds his run. Now the ball works out wide on the right hand side. Cross will come into the area, but once again there's only Nunez there, and it's too easy for Ghana to deal with.
Yeah, and the problem is then when Ghana do get into the opposition's half, they're not really asking any questions anymore, Mark. Now we talk about defining moments in football matches. Well, what a turnaround since that penalty miss. It's been Uruguay have controlled the situation. They've got themselves so much in the driving seat in this game, but they still look strong when they're breaking forward, and it looks like Ghana do need half time, and they need the manager to have a stern word with them.
Ball in the Uruguay half. They lead by 2. An action-packed first half. But they crucially have got off the mark on the goal-scoring count. It means all the teams in the World Cup have registered goals. Uruguay came into the day bottom of the group. As it stands, we'll be going through with Portugal, who at the moment on Talk Sport are in first half added on time. It's South Korea 1, Portugal 1. All on this near side for Uruguay. Nice control. Oliveira's under pressure and he wins a throw in. They've actually looked pretty good. They've looked like the Uruguay we expected, Mickey, haven't they?
Yeah, the Uruguay that finished the game against Portugal have come out of the traps in this game against Ghana, and I've been, I wouldn't say super impressed with them, but I've been impressed with their organisation and what they brought in the final third, which is what we wanted to see. And if you're their manager, if you're their players, you get through to the knockout stages, all they can turn around and say is, look, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's taken them 3 games to show us what they're all about. But is that down to the quality that we've seen from Ghana in this game? Because I think they've been really poor in this first half. Yeah,
here is Nunez, gets the ball away. Well, we know that Brazil are already qualified from the remaining group, but here's a chance for Uruguay. It could potentially, if Brazil top the group and Uruguay finish second, a Brazil-Uruguay last 16. What a game that would be.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Portugal are cruising through, albeit drawing in their game. They got the job done in the first 2 games, what it's all about. Then it's down to the managers. They're out to rotate their side, give players a rest if they need a rest. Whereas Uruguay have had to work their socks off in this first half to get themselves in a commanding position, and they're going to have to do more of it in the second 45.
Well, they've got 5 minutes remaining here at the end of this first half. Uruguay, we're live on TalkSport 2. They lead by 2-0. And you have to say, the team in blue are well on top at the moment. Ghana are going to have to produce something special, if you like, to get out of this mess that they find themselves in. As Jimenez goes down the right, it's been a fruitful avenue for them, and they've won another free kick over on the far side. Varela is brought down, and again Jordan Ayew is the man deemed to have fouled him, and you can feel the frustration at the moment. As you said, Ghana just can't get hold of the ball.
Yeah, without a doubt. There's definite frustration out there, Mark. Look, they walked into down the tunnel of the stadium and into the ground. They had the maracas, they had the drums, they were dancing all down as if they were full of confidence, and why not? Because they were in a really good position. But I'm yet to see it in this first half. I'm looking at flat players, I'm looking at players that look as if they don't want to be there.
Well, great ball in, and it's headed over the top. It's from the right-hand side. It was a deep cross, and it was Jimenez who just had too much on it, couldn't keep it down, but they got in nicely behind there. Nunez was in behind, Coates had raced through as well, but they header way over the top, and it remains 2-0 to Uruguay, who, as it stands, are going through to the round of 16.
Yeah, what a ball into the area there as well. And Willen centre halves coming up. Nunez strong, leaping in the air, just couldn't get high enough to win that ball. But it's all Uruguay. All the qualities coming from the boys in blue.
It is Salisu's lost the edge of his own area. Amati wants his keeper. Oh, now Amati wanted his keeper to come there, and he put an arm out to stop the Uruguayan player going through. It was Palistri. I thought that was quite a robust challenge. The referee's having none of it.
I just wonder if Amati is a little bit closer to Atizigi, his goalkeeper, because he's got no interest in winning the ball whatsoever. Palistri's running through. It would have been around about a 50-50 situation with the Ghana goalkeeper and Palistri, but because Amati comes in front and shields him out the way, it's another one of those scenarios, Mark, where you're wondering, is it going to go to VAR, and are we going to get another penalty?
Well, I think the focus is on the referee here, and I think we are going to play on it. He's just said to Amati, no more of that. 6 of the minimum added 8 have been played. We will go on, but on another day, another referee may have looked at that slightly differently. was a block as Nunez now is backing his way in. This time Amati defends it nicely, but Nunez gets it back. He's had a couple of chances before the goals went in that maybe he'll be disappointed he didn't take, but he won't be as disappointed as Andre Ayew, who missed from the penalty spot on 21 minutes. He went for the slow, stuttered run-up, and the penalty was down low to the goalkeeper's left, and he saved it comfortably. And within 5 minutes, Uruguay were in front at the other end.
Do you know the awful thing about when you do make one of those run-ups in a penalty situation, Mark, and you don't score? It just makes it look worse than it already is, because you're devastated in the first place. But that slow run just makes it look horrible.
Here now is Kudus. His pass not on the money, but he's going to get it back. There's still time here for Ghana, end of this first half. Don't forget tonight, Cameroon, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland in Group G. Could be a straight shootout for Serbia and Switzerland, assuming that Brazil take care of Cameroon, which you would expect them to. Favourites for the World Cup, Brazil. And already through to the last 16. Long ball over the top for Inaki Williams. He just couldn't stretch that right leg high enough, and it bounces all the way through to Rocher.
Oh, I like that they tried something different. Nice run from Williams. He's onside. I think he checked his run a little bit. He just got to the edge of the 18-yard area, maybe thinking he was offside, slowed himself down. If he'd have kept going, he'd have had a better opportunity of getting that first touch and plucking that ball out of the sky.
Yeah, Inaki Williams, who had played for Spain previously, on duty now for Ghana, but yet to register a goal as the ball picked up by Pelistri, but the referee has deemed that will be enough. Well, here's a chance for Ghana early on. It's the substitute, puts the shot across goal, Bakari, and they couldn't turn it in. Kudus at the far post was sliding in, may have caught the goalkeeper, but that was a big chance for Ghana. 60 seconds into the second half. It's a cross from the left-hand side. It skims off the head of Jimenez. It falls to Bakari. I think Kudus would have been offside anyway if he'd have turned it in. But if the shot's on target, that was a big chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Better play straight away from Ghana on the front foot. And it's Kudus. I mean, he's inches away. And I think you're right, Mark. He probably would have been called offside. But getting into better positions, asking questions of the Uruguayan back line, putting the ball into good areas with a little bit of pace. Those changes have just given that little bit of life and that little bit of spark that was needed.
Just looking at the Ayew boys on the bench, they look very dejected at the moment. Things can change, of course they can, and I'm of the opinion if Ghana do get the next goal, then we could be in for a grandstand finish, because all the pressure suddenly goes back on Uruguay. Here's Partey, 30 yards out, gets it wide on the near side. Sulemana gets it away. Little flick pass there from Partey. He didn't need it. He kept it. He flick passed it to himself. He could have just held on to it. But they've got it back, and a better start already, Mickey. 2 minutes in, we're seeing more from Ghana.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the little bit of pace in the play as well. And the Uruguayans, the midfield players, they're not going to take any risks in this second half as well. They're just going to sit in there, and they're going to try and help their back line out if they possibly can. Well, this is why I said how important it is to get that first and second goal, and if you get them, it gives you the chance to dictate what you want to do in the second half. But Ghana, better start, no doubt about it.
Well, a long ball forward though has found Nunez. He's to the byline, puts in the cross. It's just over Suarez, who's trying his best to keep it in, and he will do. He's had to race all the way back near the halfway line, but he did keep it in. Uruguay still have it. Give you the teams in a moment as the ball is back with Jimenez, who will look to work it forward. And Uruguay just settling things down now as they will eventually go all the way back to their goalkeeper, all in red.
Yeah, the penalty saving man, Rocher, just settling things down there. And they're going to try and keep the ball. A lot of possession in this second half if they possibly can, Uruguay. Oliveira, Coates might be a lot busier. Just trying to have a little breather, ticking time away, every opportunity that they get, and they'll also play the game of feigning little injuries. We don't want to see too much of it, but I'm certain that there's going to be a time in this game where it's going to come if Uruguay are hanging on.
Yeah, and any team would do it if they had to, but Ghana get to the byline, they put a good ball into the far post, in the end it's flicked away, and Ghana will be a little bit disappointed there wasn't a little bit more made of that opportunity. It wasn't the best ball in, but it was still there, hung up at the far post for someone to attack.
It's the players that coming onto the field as well, just giving that little bit of a boost. You could see that Suleimane has certainly done that, and now the crowd are starting to get involved, which seemed to be missing in the first half.
Well, the Ghana fans, they were devastated when the penalty went in, and their mood didn't improve when the 2 goals went into the back of their net. Uruguay then, Rocher in goal. It's a back four: Varela, Jimenez, Coates and Oliveira, Vecino, Garacheta and Valverde in the middle, and up front it's Nunez, Suarez and Pelistri. As Ghana come forward again, they've made a couple of changes, and the ball ricochets all the way through to the Uruguayan keeper. They go with Atizigi in goal, Ghana. A back four: Sadio Amati, Salisu and Rahman. And it's then Partey and Abdul Samed, the 2 holding midfielders, with Kudus, Suleiman and Bakari now in behind Inaki Williams, who continues up top. But really, from a Ghana perspective, Nicky, Inaki Williams has not seen anywhere near enough of the football.
No, well, he's just had a decent run, just to the edge of the 18-yard box, but 1 or 2 occasions I think we've mentioned his name where we saw a bit of quality from him. It has to be a lot better when you find yourselves 2 goals down going out of the World Cup. He might need a little bit of help. I wonder if a change of system might help him. We talk about the players in behind him. Well, they've already just made those changes just to give them a bit more legs in that area.
Yeah, and Uruguay as well have got to be very careful that South Korea won, Portugal won. Portugal made a raft of changes for their game. South Korea are going to go all out for a win. If they get a goal, this group changes again.
Well, wouldn't that be interesting, wouldn't it? I mean, you'd be absolutely devastated. All you can do your job. And Uruguay are doing theirs at the moment. They were asked a question before this game of, right, you need to go out, you need to win this game. But if that changes, the Korea-Portugal game, and Korea actually found themselves getting themselves in front with a second goal, I think that changes it again, Mark, doesn't it? Which would be just incredible.
Here come Ghana again. They're looking to try and work their way forward. But Uruguay pinch it. Suarez. I'll tell you what we'll say about Suarez, Mickey. He might have lost that pace that he had, but he's very much a team player, isn't he now? He's all about getting everyone else involved.
Yeah, without a doubt. Look, at his age, his work ethic is not what it used to be, but he's so willing as a player. He will not give you a second if you're anywhere around him near the edge of the 18-yard box. But as we saw a couple of minutes ago, keeping the ball in play, working hard for the team, and he knows that with his experience. He's just getting himself back into a position now, and there you go, helping out his team. Absolutely fantastic. I'm not too sure he'd see the final whistle, but what he does give you for when he's on the field is excellent.
Yeah. The referee will be glad when he goes off as well, Mr. Siebert. He's had an earful off him a few times already this afternoon. The game being played at the Al Janoud Stadium in Al Wakra, and as it stands, Uruguay are the team that are getting the win they so needed. But Ghana going to throw everything forward here, and we mentioned they've already scored 5 goals at this tournament. Can they rustle up another couple here as the ball bouncing edge of the Uruguayan area? That looked like handball. It was handball, and it was Abdul Samed who just raised his arm, and he acknowledges that and moves away. It's a free kick for Uruguay.
And that's the positions, Mark, that I'm speaking about, where Ghana, they're doing well, they're getting the ball into the opposition's half, but when it goes in there, this is a mistake. I mean, Oliveira doesn't clear his lines. The ball's bouncing around in the 18-yard box, and you've got one Ghana player trying to win the ball back. Midfield players and forward players have got to try and commit themselves a little bit more.
There's some neat play there down the Uruguayan right-hand side, but there were any number of fouls the referee could have pulled up for there. In the end, he determines that the foul had been made on Pelistri, and it's a free kick 10 yards over the halfway line.
Well, he's the one that we were talking about, Mark, before actually the game started, Pelistri, wasn't he? I think he's got the ability there, but he dips in and out of the game. He'll have a spell of 5-6 minutes where you think he's got really good ability and he's going to make something happen, and then you feel like you've not spoken about him for another 10 minutes. But he's only young. He's definitely got time on his hands. He's got the ability, no question about that. And he's had a great football club to coach him along the way.
Well, there's a nice turn from Suarez, who's been brought down, and he's not happy about that. Salisu had a bite at the ankles there, and that was as clear as a free kick as you're going to see today. And it just, every free kick, every stoppage now is just allowing Uruguay to run the clock down. And I guess the only question from a Uruguay perspective is, do they want to try and go out and improve their goal difference? Because that could be, or goals scored, could be what this comes down to if South Korea get another goal.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I think it's key when you come to the second half of game, certainly the last 10 or 15 minutes, knowing that the information's getting onto your players. Do I need to hang on to this 2-goal lead, or do we need to go and get a third goal? Because as you say, I mean, it's great because the two teams, or both of the games are on at the same time, so you know what the situation is going to be.
Surprised by the stats, 43% possession for Uruguay. They've got a free kick 30 yards out. They're going to stand it up to the far post. It's headed into the edge of the 6-yard area and cleared away, and they'll try and play their way out of trouble. I think the offside flag had gone up, but 43% possession Uruguay, 40% to Ghana. In contest 17%. I don't really recall that 40% possession for Ghana, if I'm honest, Mickey.
No, absolutely not. We certainly haven't saw that, have we? It's incredible, isn't it, where I think Ghana need to just calm themselves down a little bit. I said everything seems to be rushed, albeit they've come out in the second half and they've got into better positions. But I'm just seeing certain players and body language, for me, it just hasn't been there. I mean, I don't know what's happening with the Ghanaians off the field. They look as if they're enjoying themselves.
Well, there's a ball over the top. Kudos is in. Keeper comes. There's a coming together. There's no real appeal. Keeper spilled it, and in the end, Uruguay happy just to kick the ball off the field. But there was a natural coming together, and it's interesting there wasn't an appeal from Ghana at all, but he got in. If he's touched there, would have taken him round the keeper. That was a big chance.
I tell you what, it's a fantastic run, absolutely brilliant. I mean, there's a lot of pace on it, and it just doesn't make contact with the ball. And I think you can see after that, he's trying to make contact with the goalkeeper, Roche stands his ground, he's brave, but he's the one who's on the ground now, who's hurt himself a little bit.
I think it's nice to see there, Mickey, that we can just actually have a 50-50 natural coming together. There was a natural collision.
Yeah, there was no malice. Absolutely, yeah. You're completely right, Mark. There was no malice in it at all. You know, it's a physical game, football. You're going to have situations like that. And again, you know, this is Ghana, and that's what I want to see more of. Willing players running in behind this back line of Uruguay, stretching the pitch, making it hard for them. And that was better from them.
Well, Partey's just had his pocket picked, and the ball's not long downfield. Nunez takes it on the chest. Can he get the finish? He's gone down under the Amati tackle. Amati, I thought, just got a little bit of the ball, and I think the official agrees. But once again, I thought Nunez' first touch was great, but just looks to be lacking that killer instinct.
Yeah, he does. And it's strange to say this. He's lacking in confidence in front of goal, because things have turned around for him in a Liverpool shirt. He looks as if he's the player that they signed in the summer.
Well, are they going to have a look at this, you know?
I think they will. I think they'll have a look at it, Mark. Yeah, there's no doubt, because Luis Suarez was having a look at the referee.
Great first touch, gets him in behind. Oh, does he get the player before he got the ball, Amati?
Well, in my eyes, it's not a penalty, but it doesn't really matter what we say anymore, Mark, does it? Because there's contact. There's contact with the player.
He's going to look at the screen, and this might be it. This might be Uruguay's moment. He's been asked, Daniel Siebert, to go and have a look at this. He did get a touch on the ball, Amati, but there was a coming together. Now, is there enough contact for the referee to overturn his own decision? Or is there a pull on the shirt, maybe, that's the reason he went to ground? Well, the referee is in deep conversation here with the VAR. He's been asked to change his decision, and this is one of those. Is that clear and obvious error? I'm not so sure it is.
No, absolutely not. I stick with my guns here, Mark, and I say I don't think it's a penalty, but when you start to slow things down, we know what's going to happen.
Well, we say that, Mickey, but he's looked at it 4 or 5 times, and he's not just had one look and walked away and gone, right, I changed my mind. So I think on that angle that we're seeing, he does get a foot on the ball, but the defender, Amati, looked clumsy, but if he got a toe on it, here we go, he's coming, he still had another look. Is he going to change his mind here? Is he going to change his mind? He said no penalty. fair play there to the referee, Daniel Siebert. He was asked to have a look. He said no on the field. He watched it 5, 6, 7 times and went, no, I'm happy with my decision. It's no penalty.
Well, isn't that great to see? It's brilliant. I think we've seen it on a couple of occasions in the World Cup already. But Núñez, look, I'm not too sure how much he's actually asking the referee after he goes to ground here, Núñez, for the penalty himself. It's more Luis Suarez doing the asking to the referee. No, he goes to ground, he can feel contact. But I did not think that was a penalty in normal play, and I saw it a couple of times, Mark. But as you say, when VAR around in this tournament, it could have easily been given as a penalty.
And if you mentioned Núñez, he had a look round to see if the referee had given it. He wasn't screaming, was he?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, he realised that was just a genuine challenge. And fair play to the referee, but Uruguay, they thought they were away again. And I think Suarez is going to get booked here for kicking the ball away. Well, that might be added on to his various lectures of the referee, who's had enough of him and said, I'm the one with the cards and you're getting one now. Suarez is still going at it.
He needs to be careful, Luis Suarez, because if Uruguay do actually get through to the knockout stages, he wants to be a part of that. It's not like this is going to be his final game in a Uruguayan shirt. He's aging, yes, but are we getting to the point now, the hour mark is up, where they need to take Luis Suarez off this field? Because it's got, I said before, it could easily get out of hand, this game. It's not being too physical. When certain players are on yellow cards, we know exactly what's going to come after him.
Yeah, there were only 3 on a yellow card coming into this one for Uruguay. Bentancur's had to leave the field, sadly. Caceres and Oliveira were the other 2. Now add to that list Núñez and Suarez. Here come Ghana down there, left-hand side. Can they fashion up a chance here? Is it the referee? He apologises, but that's done Uruguay a favour there, because they had a ball wide on the left.
Yeah, they had themselves in a really advanced position as well, didn't they? And that's where they've got to try and get themselves into those spots, put the ball into the area, because those legs, they've got to be tired now. The concentration levels are huge.
They are. They get down the left-hand side here with Kudus. In fact, that's Suleimana. His cross was blocked. Still 1-1 over on TalkSport. Quarter of that game left. South Korea 1, Portugal 1. A goal for South Korea really does stir up the hornet's nest in this Group H.
Doesn't it? Just, I have to say, Suleimana, who came on at half-time for Ghana, he looks really lively down this left-hand side. He's certainly been involved in the better play from Ghana in this second 45 minutes. He looks quick. He's got ability when he picks up the ball.
61 gone. Live on TalkSport 2. Otto Addo is in deep conversation now with his backroom staff. What can he do to change this around? They've been better, Ghana, in the second half, but they've not been good enough to turn around a 2-goal deficit. And if anything, it's Uruguay on the break who look the more likely.
Yeah, and they're going to have to take risks at a certain point in the game, which is not too far away from us. They're going to have to commit players forward.
But if they get one, that's what they'll be thinking. If they get one, then they're a chance.
That's what it's all about, Mark. It's all about moments, and I think Ghana are certainly waiting for that. Uruguay, not too sure. Yeah, they've made that one change, haven't they? Because Bentancur went off, but Pacino was the guy who came on. I'm very surprised that we've not seen more substitutions on this hour mark.
Yeah, maybe they will be in the process. Diego Alonso making some more shortly. They've got 5, of course, at their disposal. Ball inside the Uruguay half. Ghana seeing more of it down that end, and subsequently their possession stat has gone higher than Uruguay's. But Uruguay are not bothered about the ball. They just want to know it's away from their goal. They don't necessarily want to have hold of it. Better if they do, clearly, but they're quite disciplined at the moment, Uruguay.
They don't need to take any risks. Get themselves into good positions.
Here come Ghana again. It is Sullivan on the left. We've seen a ball far post. Keeper Kane didn't get to it, and it went straight over him. And arriving at the far post, Bakari just couldn't get a foot on. It's behind, but that wasn't great goalkeeping.
Well, it's 2 substitutes who are involved again. Suleiman, it's a lovely ball into the area. I'm just wondering whether Rocher, the Uruguayan goalkeeper, actually knows that there's anybody behind him. I think he has a big gulp of breath when he sees that run. of Bakari just in behind him. If it dips a little bit quicker, it gives them such a better chance. But that's what they need to do more, Garner. Miles better football.
Still 1-1 across on Talk Sport right now. If you've got the app, you can listen to that one. Dean Ashton with Alex Crook. South Korea were appealing for a penalty, but having seen the replay, I'm not sure it was a valid shout. Remains 1-1 there, which means a point apiece. Portugal already through. South Korea would move on to 2, while Uruguay at the moment have got 4, and Ghana, even if they lost, would have 3. So South Korea, as it stands, bottom of the group, but a goal changes that. Here you go, Uruguay now trying to slide it through, cleared away. The ball over on the far side. It is so fine here that the team that are bottom of the group, if they score 1 goal, all of a sudden will shoot up into the top 2 again. But here come Uruguay, want some more goals of their own, and they might be about to get one here, and they've put it wide. Pelistri from 12 yards out. They worked it well into the area, and Pelistri had time for the shot, and he screwed it wide.
Well, was that one pass too many? Excellent play, really well worked at the edge of the box, but Pelistri there, he's the one who gets the shot away. But I'm just wondering if the strike might have been there before it actually fell to the young Manchester United man. But fantastic play, and as we probably thought in this game, this is the substitution that I think a lot of us were expecting, Mark.
Well, Luis Suarez makes way, he takes off the captain's armband, he puts it on the shoulder of his long-term teammate Edinson Cavani, who comes on to close things out. And also coming on into the action, De La Cruz is the other substitute that's come on. So a double change, 66 minutes gone, and it is Nicolas De La Cruz who comes on, the man who plays for River Plate, and he's alongside Edinson Cavani, who will start to lead this line.
Well, as the manager says, Diego Alonso, to his experienced players, look, can you just give me 60, 65 minutes and then I can make a change? And they've got, some world top stars that have had incredible careers in Luis Suarez and Edinson Cavani now coming on for the final 25 minutes and whatever else has played in this game. But their careers have just been sensational. This could be their last game, Mark, and that's what I say. They've given absolutely everything, and at the moment they're going to go through, which is fantastic for these experienced guys. And I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and at the moment they're sprinting through to those knockout stages, which is just incredible.
Yeah, and they could well face Brazil. What a game that would be in the last 16. 2 South American heavyweights going at it. Brazil, remember, in action tonight. You'll hear their game on the TalkSport network this evening as they take on Cameroon, and Serbia take on take on Switzerland in the other game. Here, though, it's 2-0 to Uruguay, and it's Uruguay who, as it stands, are advancing through. The other game is quite a way in advance of ours, about 7 minutes further on. So South Korea and Portugal should finish before this one does, and that could be the Uruguay's advantage should South Korea get another goal. At least they would know what they need to do.
Well, that's exactly what will happen. Information will be filtered into the coaches, and they will be telling the players, take your time, and then you'll just see forward players like Japan did last night against Spain, just sitting in there, making it so difficult for anybody to break them down. But it's all about getting the job done at this stage.
Well, South Korea have at some point got to push the button. They need a win. It's as simple as that. They've got to win, and they're going to start gambling players forward, and they may leave themselves open at the back. Here, though, goes Sullivan again. He's been a threat down this left-hand side. He certainly added, the subs have added to it, but they need a little bit more from some of the others in white shirts. Ghana, they're trying to get into the byline. They will get to the byline, and they'll win themselves a corner. And again, it's the man, Sullivan, who gets it, plays at Stade Rennais in France, only 20 years of age, and he's made a big impact.
He certainly has. Been really good down this left-hand side. A lot of pace. He loves that little step over. He's not frightened to go to the byline. He just tried to chop this one back on his right foot.
Corner, headed by Amati. It's bouncing, and Partey got a foot on it. He couldn't control it, and it rolls through to the Uruguayan goalkeeper. and safety for Uruguay, but that wasn't convincing again.
I'm just wondering how much Partey knew about that. As that ball's come down, you've got to try and take the shot on first time. It's just like he's tried to take a touch in the 6-yard area. Well, there's too many bodies around there. It's so hard to get the space.
He needed to trap it stone dead, didn't he, really? It was a little bit unfortunate. I'm with you. I'm not so sure he knew too much about that, but the defending wasn't great. Portugal remain top of the group. They're already through. No worries for them in the last 20 minutes or so of these two games. They'll be through to the last 16, whatever happens in their game. But here come Uruguay. De La Cruz, edge of the area, just tries to roll it out wide. Nunez makes an unselfish run. He's going to keep it in as well, Nunez. Oh, nice pass. They're in down the left-hand side. Soft crosses in. Partey heads it away. On the volley, and he's last goal bound. Great save there by the keeper. Ati Ziggy. He won't have seen that till late. It's a volley lashed in. Valverde took it first time. 25 yards out, dipping right in front of the keeper. And in the end, he did well to beat it away.
Oh, what a strike from a top-class player, Valverde. As we saw in earlier games, hitting the crossbar with a couple of out strikes from outside the box. This one just initially just got wrong, but what a volley from a top-class player. And as a goalkeeper, that is the last thing you need. Atizigi, the ball bouncing just in front of him. There's a lot of pace on it. Well, that was brilliant. Miles better from Uruguay. They haven't really showed too much in this second half, but when they do get the opportunity, they've got the brilliance of somebody like Valverde.
They have. I think the keeper's starting point was really important there. It allowed him to get right behind that and just put everything behind it. Still 2-0. 20 minutes remaining. You're live on TalkSport 2. Mark Wilson with the former England and Sunderland man Mickey Gray. And Mickey and I'll be at the Stadium of Light tomorrow as the EFL returns on TalkSport 2. Your home of the EFL. As it's Millwall who travel up to Sunderland. As now here goes Kudus, 25 yards out. He's going to hit one, and he hit it well, but it was always just off target, and it's behind. But that just gets the Ghana fans on their toes. They've been really flat after those two early goals went in.
Yeah, Kudus, you give him a moment like that, he can work his way around two or three Uruguayan players. Does ever so well to work it onto his, I would say, weaker right foot, but it's not too far away. It looked better in slow motion, I have to say.
I'm going to say, it looked quite a way off target the first time. We saw it again. It was pretty close. Still 2-0, but they can get one, Ghana. Remember, a point with the result as it is in the other game would be enough for Ghana. And they're going to make two more changes here. They're going for it. They're having to bring on here now Antoine Semenyo of Bristol City. He's coming on into the action. Inaki Williams goes off as Semenyo comes in. And we're going to get the next change as well. It sees Daniel Kofi Kire comes on. Can he make an impact for Ghana as they empty their bench? Got one more change remaining for them. Well, it's do or die now for Ghana, who have been involved in some cracking games at this World Cup, but that penalty miss, and if you just joined us, Andre Ayew missed from the spot on 21 minutes to put Ghana in front, and within 11 minutes they were 2-0 down. 2 goals for Arasheta. Disappointment for Ghana, but they had the chance. Can they create some more? It's when they can get that first goal, if they get one, of course.
Yeah, well, it's now or never, Mark, isn't it? I think that's why they've just made those changes. Ghana, they have to go for it. They're chasing this down. They know what result they need. They know what result they needed before the game kicked off, but this is what I talked about. Get yourself into a brilliant position like Uruguay have done with a couple of goals. They can see this game out whichever way they want to, because Ghana are going to have to take risks. That's the way that the game has flown. They've had better opportunities in this second half, Ghana, but have they done enough to actually convince anybody that they deserve to win this game? Well, I think Uruguay have been pretty good. They've got everything right this afternoon, and it looks like they're going to go on and win this football match and obviously see themselves through to the knockout stages.
Yeah, as the ball played forward, and what they will have the comfort really of knowing is that if South Korea don't win, and that game is, as I said, 6.5, 7 minutes in front of this one, they can literally just play out time knowing that a win would send them through. 74 almost on the clock. Ghana 0, Uruguay 2 across on TalkSport. South Korea 1, Portugal 1. South Korea surely just got to throw everything forward. A point no good for them. Will be a second point in the group, but they need a win to keep them in it. As forward go Ghana, and Jimenez just dumps it out. Absolutely no intention of trying anything risky there. Just get it off the field.
Well, there's going to be no chances from Uruguay now. They've just got to defend for them lives. They've done everything that they need to do, which has been absolutely brilliant. I've seen some, Jimenez at the back has been super solid whenever he's been asked a question. The goalkeeper's come up with goods, Roche, but I've been disappointed with what I saw from Ghana. I thought you could have seen a little bit more from Kudos. He's had his moments, but from a player with his quality, Marty, expected to see a little bit more. Siedu, we mentioned before, bursting forward. It's not really happened for him, has it, on a couple of occasions. It's just been a bit of a flat performance from Ghana.
It has. Yes, plays it forward, but to no one in particular. And that's what I tried to say to you at the start, is when you go into it and you're the underdogs, you can play with a bit of freedom. They've played with pressure on them, I think, today, because the pressure is that if they won, they go through, and they haven't been able to produce a performance.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. And what was it? It was in second place on 3 points. I think the manager might have had in the back of his mind, well, great, if we don't win the game, at least we'll try and draw it. But because of what Uruguay brought to the table, they fell flat on their face.
Well, here's Suleiman tries to get on the outside. He's won another corner. He's certainly given them plenty to think about, hasn't he? Guillermo Varela's had more defending to do down this side since he came on, and they haven't looked great on corners, Uruguay. Amate comes forward from the back. They need a lifeline. They need something from anyone. The Ghana fans are amassed behind the goal. Are they going to see a goal as the ball whipped in? Nunez got up high, partially cleared away though by Valverde, and it breaks edge of the box to Amate, and he's tackled, and now the break could be on. Cavani tries to switch play to the left-hand side. Nunez goes forward. There's not too much intent at the moment, but the blue shirts are pushing up, and he goes down the side. He's going to win a corner. No, he's not. It's a goal kick. He thought he'd won a corner, and he hasn't.
Well, 1v1 situation. Seidu, fantastic defending. Darwin Nunez, but again, this is what I talk about. They're now having to take those chances, Ghana, pushing people forward when they give the ball away.
Well, there was half a chance, and Kudus just couldn't find a teammate wide on the right, but now they're going to switch it to the left-hand side. Here comes Baba Rahman now. He's going to swing a ball into the air. It's not dealt with. It'll fall to the far side. And now here's Partey, and again, not for the first time. The unnecessary flick pass, and Uruguay just bring it forward. And when you World Cup future's on the line, Mickey, that just looks lazy, doesn't it? It looks like you don't care.
And that is a player.
I've had a shot here from the halfway line, Uruguay. It went over the top. Ziggy was underneath it.
Yeah, a player who's full of confidence in the Premier League, Thomas Partey. You don't expect that from him, Mark. And when he's on the edge of the 18-yard box, he tries a little flick through the inside of his legs. You're 2 goals down. That is not what you need to be doing. Be professional. Yes, of course, show us a little bit of quality when it's on, but it was never, ever on. And does that answer the questions of the way that Ghana have performed in this game? I said before, I think that their performance has been flat. I think you were talking about possession before, but they haven't really done anything with the ball.
Not at the moment, and we know Partey's such a magnificent player. Just so casually just gave the ball away, and when you haven't had that many touches in the opposition box, you need to be better than that, and they need him now to come to the fore. Scored the goal in qualifying that got them through, of course. Here now is Kudus, so he's starting to see a bit more of it. He couldn't find Partey. It was a risky pass, and the slide challenge came in. Cross comes into the far post. It'll break to halfway. Uruguay getting pushed deeper and deeper back now here. It could be a nervy last 12 if Ghana can find one here. Suleiman on the left, cuts onto his right foot. And again, he tries to go on his left, and he's got past his man. Can he produce a cross? Again, he sends the defender flying. He's been in 4 times. Now he puts the cross in towards the back post, and it's headed away. Good header as well, Oliveira at the far post. Wow. Kamaldeen Sulemana, he's beat 4 players at once and still didn't put the cross in.
Well, what I would call him, Mark, is a centre-forward's nightmare, because you never know when the ball's going to come into the area. But what about the ability? I mean, you're right, he beat him 4 times. He's going to cross it with his left foot, his right foot, the same against once over.
Oh, that ball will break here into the area. Big chance, pulled across goal, and that might be the chance. Semenyo on his left foot found a good position. I think it was Partey this time who did find the ball through, and Semenyo's pulled it across goal, but that was better from Ghana. They still trail 2-0.
What a chance. Brilliant chance. Well worked for Semenyo. Keeps his head down, does everything right, keeps it down. Well, the problem is he keeps it down and he just whips his left foot around it a little bit too much, and it misses that far post. What an opportunity. And as you said, Mark, it might not have been the best performance, but if they can get themselves back into this game, it's all on.
It is, because then the pressure goes back onto Uruguay as Nunez is making ways. Maybe not had the best of games, but his willingness has been there. As the two-goal hero as well, Diarra goes off, and they will bring on into the action. Gomez is one of those that comes on. Maxi Gomez of Trabzonspor is into the action, and Canobio as well has come on for Uruguay, who've got 10 minutes plus any added on time to see it out, but they have just had a warning. A shot across the face of their goal. As we said, you get one even just with a few minutes left. It all changes.
It's amazing. It's amazing the mindset of players have changed. But at the moment that they're hanging on Uruguay, got themselves into the position. I'm just wondering now if Edison Cavani might just drop a little bit deeper. There's no point in him staying in the opposition's half or up against 2 defenders. He might as well help out defensively. And there's more bodies for Ghana to try and break them down.
And they are going wide on the right here. Cross is deflected. It'll be cleared away, edge of the area. Uruguay can get it away. They didn't though. And now here it falls, edge of the area. Shot comes in! And the keeper just got a fingertip on it. And he keeps it out. Rocher, he saved the penalty earlier. That was routine stuff, but this was a fine save.
What a save. What a strike. Kudos yet again with that left foot. He just catches that so sweet. But what a save from Rocher. Uruguay do actually go through to the knockout stages. He's the one.
Corner comes in, headed out of the 6-yard box by Jimenez. All the way out for a throw-in. Well, Ghana have just created 2 chances in the last 3 minutes. That was a world-class save. Just pushed it round the post.
This is what it's all about. I'll say the final moments of games, the important minutes where you have to stay concentrated and switched on. What a save. Rocher, absolutely brilliant. Well, I do question where his 2 centre-halves are when Kudos gets that strike away. The last few minutes, Ghana looking lively.
They missed that penalty earlier on. They were shell-shocked for an hour or so thereafter, but now they're growing into the game. Long looping throw, flicked on at the near post, and it's headed away, edge of the area. At the moment, Uruguay can't get out. Sulemana gets it out of his feet. Gets it now here to Kudus. Kudus looking. It gets a little bit of an opening. Tried to drill the cross in. It was blocked there. It'll come back to Kudus. He's eased off it, but it's out for a throw-in. Ghana's starting to ask some serious questions now.
The mind of players, you just can't help it. They're starting to drop off Uruguay. Look, I mean, they're defending their own 18-yard box now, and they can't get out.
Deep ball might be too deep. Rocher will catch it, and that will lead another 20-30 seconds off the clock. 82.5 gone live on TalkSport 2. The Ghana fans still think they can do it, but they're running out of time. Uruguay leading by 2, and as it stands, they're going through with Portugal, who are in the 90th minute against South Korea. 1-1 there. A point would see Portugal top the group. They may well get more, as South Korea have got to chase the goal. They need to win to have any chance of qualification. Uruguay have got to throw in, and it's just eating more seconds out of this game. Up to the last 5 minutes or so, Uruguay have looked pretty comfortable. What can they do going the other way? A third goal would be a welcome boost for them. It really would take the sting out of any Ghana hopes. as De La Cruz just dwelt on the ball a little bit too long, but gets it back on the touchline, looks for the give and go.
Personnel-wise, Mark, I think that's, Uruguay have obviously made those changes, but I think system-wise, crazily enough, they've not really done anything. It's if, they're just staying in the positions. You can see them getting back there, but Ghana, over the last 3 or 4 minutes, have created chances. I think it's come down to the opportunities from Suleimane.
Oh, goal! There's been a goal for South Korea. Now that, if it stands, changes everything. Over on TalkSport, Heung-min Son has just made a great run forward. It's a fantastic finish. I'm not sure who's got it. We'll confirm that in a moment. But that moves South Korea now on to 4 points. Now, Mickey Gray, we need the abacus out.
Wow.
That changes everything.
My goodness. I mean, is this deja vu after yesterday? I just couldn't believe it was going to happen again, but it certainly looks that way now. This is just absolutely incredible. We've got a game that we're watching and you're thinking it's all done and dusted and everybody's happy and the disappointment of Ghana going home. But this is just unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Wow. Now, that to me sends South Korea, I believe, would be going through. We'll confirm that. It's a great finish, by the way. Uruguay need another goal. All of a sudden, now they might have the advantage. There's 5 minutes remaining. They will get news of that. What a goal it is, by the way. We'll get Mickey Gray's thoughts on that in a minute. I know it's in the other game. Strong challenge goes in from Suleiman, and he's in the book. It's a great finish, Mickey, isn't it?
It's fantastic, yeah. I mean, they're looking for an offside. It's Son who just plays that ball through at the perfect time, and it's an absolutely brilliant finish from South Korea. And that, you're right, Mark, it does. It completely changes this group around. It looks like South Korea are going to be in that second spot.
And the Uruguay fans have read it. Suarez knows.
There you
now
go.
The message goes out. Goal difference in group games. Well, the goal difference is level. If Uruguay score again, they have a better goal difference. But if they don't, it goes on goals scored, and that's why South Korea would be going through. And Suarez is almost in tears on the bench. They can't believe it. They cannot believe that South Korea are beating Portugal, who made a raft of changes. And what now can Ghana do? Ghana coming forward. They've got a chance. It's 4-on-3 here. Suleimana. Oh, he's taken out cynically there. That will be another yellow card. But that was one for the team from Sebastian Coates. He's chopped Suleimana down. He had no choice.
Well, he has to bring him down, Coates. It's a 4v2 situation in favour of Ghana, and that message has been filtered onto the players. They know what they have to do. You've got Uruguay who need to go and score another goal. You've got Ghana who need to get themselves back on level terms, trying to find 2 goals if they possibly can. This game is so open, it's unbelievable. You might as well just take all of the defenders off and everybody just start shooting. It's absolutely crazy.
They are in tears, Mickey. On the Uruguay bench, they are in tears, because they've taken off Nunez, they've taken off Suarez. The Uruguay fans have got hands on heads. South Korea have got 2.5 minutes to hang on of 6 added on minutes. That's live on TalkSport right now. And a free kick here for Ghana, a goal for them would change everything again, but the delivery's a shocker. Too deep it was. I'm looking at pictures on our screen. Uruguay fans are in tears. I'm looking at pictures of the Korean fans are in tears. Everybody's crying, Mickey Gray.
This is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we're loving this World Cup, and we're loving the way that, the Korean side, Japan yesterday, it's just fantastic. But you keep working hard, you ask the question, and things will start to happen for you. And we talked earlier, Mark, I did not think I was going to be saying this again, but is this the end for Luis Suarez, Edison Cavani, their careers, international careers? They thought they were going through.
Ghana coming forward down their right-hand side. There's more and more white shirts, and of course that plays into Uruguay's hands, because Ghana are just throwing everybody forward. Poor ball into the edge of the area from Baba Rahman, and now the Blues come forward again. They're driving through. Uruguay know a goal now would see them go through. They need a goal. 2 minutes of the 90 remaining. Four-way in the middle for the cross from De La Cruz. Floats it in. Chance with a header. Cavani, it's saved. What a save from Ziggy. One-handed puts it over the top for a corner. Sensational stuff. The offside flag was up. but neither Cavani or Altizigi knew anything about that.
Nah, he did not know anything about that. Edison Cavani, again, it's end-to-end. They work it out really well to that left-hand side. De La Cruz with a beautiful ball. Not too sure, yeah, he probably was just in an offside position, Edison Cavani. He's a little bit static. It's a great leap. What a header. And I have to say, Altizigi has come up with an outstanding save.
Okay, he's landed on his head, the goalkeeper there. That was such a heavy fall. He's injured. Well, the South Korean fans, if you're swiping left and right, you'll hear them on TalkSport right now. They are going crackers. Their team, well, they'll then, once the whistle goes there, they'll then be wanting news of this game. South Korea level on goal difference, but they scored 4 goals as opposed to Uruguay's 2. Uruguay also level on goal difference, but goal difference comes ahead of goals scored on the list. So if they can get one, Uruguay, they would be going through.
This is unbelievable. It really is. You've just got to give everything. Got to give absolutely everything. The Uruguayans are all absolutely devastated. Do they actually know the situation, Mark?
They do. They do know. They know exactly what's going on. They're in added on time of added on time. South Korea are going to produce yet another shock, a comeback win from a goal down to beat Portugal. And here Uruguay are hoping. They're hoping for a big number off the referee here. And the fourth official. We've got 5 seconds of the 90 remaining. How long will be added on? It's going to be crucial for Uruguay's hope. Diego Alonso is screaming at his players. He wants more. He needs more. He's saying how long's added on. Nobody knows. 8 minutes to be added on. Oh, South Korea fans all around the world will be biting their nails. They're seconds away from a famous victory. They have won. It's simple now. Uruguay have got to score.
Well,
they
8
have
minutes
to score. We've got 8 added on minutes on TalkSport 2.
South Korea have done what they've had to do. They've won the game. They've got themselves in pole position in number 2 at the moment. They are going through to the knockout stages. This 8 minutes now for Uruguay is so key. Can they get forward and get that third goal?
Well, they've got 3 in the middle. Wayne Cavani's cross floats it into the far post, headed towards goal. Should be headed away at the back. Welcome along the listeners on TalkSport. It's Ghana 0, Uruguay 2. 2 goals in the first half from Arrascaeta put Uruguay in control after Ayew missed a penalty. But now, on goals scored, Uruguay, as it stands, are going out. They need a third goal. There's 8 minutes added on time. We've played one of those already. Mickey Gray, former England man, alongside us as Uruguay foot forward again. A goal will put them through. Headed back across goal, headed away. A good header away by Salisu. Both sides, Mickey Gray, desperate for goals. This is ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. I mean, look how open it is. It's now Ghana on the attack. They're trying to get themselves back into this game. But there you go, there's chances. I think he's offside here, but it's just unbelievable. Uruguay, I just wonder whether they've taken the substitutions a little bit too early, because they knew at some point this might happen, Mark. Now, we've just seen that Suarez, Núñez off the field when you need a goal.
Well, we said at 2-0 as Cavani breaks into the area. He's gone down. Referee waves it away. Now, there was a coming together. Cavani throws himself on the ground. We had one penalty given by VAR earlier. Uruguay appealed for a penalty earlier on. The referee didn't give it. VAR asked him to check his decision, and he didn't give that either. That was at 2-0. What do you make of this one? Cavani goes down.
Not for me. It's not for me, Mark. And again, you know, look, I would say that would be a really soft penalty. He's got himself in front of the player, and then he's gone to ground. But is he playing for it? He's actually not made contact with the ball, Cavani. I think he's just tried to play cute, and that one for me wasn't a penalty.
We've played on. So 2 3/4 minutes of the 8 minimum added on. Suarez is on the sideline. He was in tears when news broke from that game between South Korea, and I'm with you, Mickey. I think at 2-0 Uruguay gambled on the fact that South Korea wouldn't win, and we said all along, if they got a goal, South Korea, it changes everything. We've got pictures of the South Korean players in a huddle middle of the field. If Uruguay score, they are through, and there's 6 blue shirts in the edge of the area, the ball bouncing around everywhere. Canobio puts it into the area, and Altizigi collects it. And he comes to the edge of his area now, and look, Ghana need 2 goals, which is highly improbable.
But what
and if they don't go through, they would relish in knocking Uruguay out. They clearly would.
Without a doubt. I mean, what would it be? Redemption for them, wouldn't it? 12 years ago. But this is just incredible, because they are going to have to go for it, Ghana, still, Mark. You know, they can't just sit in. They're going to have to try and get that first goal, and if it comes, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to get 3 goals in the last 4 minutes of this match, but why should they sit in?
Well, Ghana's got a chance now. They put the cross into the far post. He's brought down chance. Great block. Wonderful defending. Jimenez threw everything in front of it. Still the danger is there. Semenyo goes down in the area. Referee says no. And now it's 3-on-3. Cavani over the halfway line. A goal sends Uruguay through. He's now 6-on-4. Uruguay shoots. Saved. Low to his strike by the keeper, Ziggy. Didn't look like the shot was on, but it was heading into the bottom corner. 3.5 minutes remain. Corner taken quickly. Uruguay chasing a place in the last 16. Ghana defend it well on the far side, and it's out for a throw into Ghana, and Uruguay players slump. Another few seconds taken out of this game. Still 2-0.
Valverde there, the ball just going out, but Gomez with the strike just before that. What a save from Ziggy over to his right hand side. How much more do they have to do here? They're just piling on the pressure. They're gonna have to keep putting that ball into this Ghanaian 18-yard box. This is unbelievable. 3 minutes to hang on for Ghana, but really they wanted to try and get something out of the game. It's Uruguay who now have to take this game to Ghana in the final 3 minutes and hopefully get that third goal.
Well, here come Ghana, and they're going to lash a shot. What a save from the keeper. One-handed again. Rocher down low to his right. Ghana, remember, if they were to get a point out of this game, I think they thought they were offside there. No, they'll carry on. Here they go now. Baba Rahman coming forward. He's turned over possession. 2.5 left. It's like basketball. The ball played up to halfway. Uruguay get a goal. They are through. The South Korean fans are watching on their phones. They should be listening on the TalkSport app, really. Ball now going forward. Here come Ghana again. Oh, it's given away by Baba Rahman. They had 3 players over, and now Uruguay will come. 2 of the minimum 8 added on, still to go. They lead 2-0, but they need a third goal. Cavani squares it. He's poked wide. He's poked wide by Coates, who screams that it was a corner, but the referee says no. And more tears expended in the Uruguayan end this time. What a crazy end. Whatever the thoughts and beliefs about this World Cup, Mickey Gray, on the field, this has been an outstanding week of football.
It's phenomenal. It really is. You've got centre-half coming up now to try and get that all-important winning goal. Coates there just poking out his right foot. We're seeing pictures of Luis Suarez with half of his face showing because he's absolutely devastated. It's now or never. 1.5 minutes. They're going to get one more chance in this game, Uruguay, you would think. But again, it's Cavani putting the ball into the area. They've just got to commit bodies forward. Take a risk in this last 1.5 minutes. Otherwise, you're going home.
2-0. Uruguay lead. For so long, it looked like it was going to put them through to the last 16. Hwang Hee-chan with a goal for South Korea in added on time. Means that South Korea, as it stands, are going through with Portugal. Don't forget, this is only the first half of the action. We've got more games coming up live tonight across the TalkSport network. Cameroon against Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland to come. We've got less than a minute of time added on. Well, this was all about revenge for Ghana. They may be getting a modicum of revenge. It's not the full revenge they wanted in going through to the last 16 themselves, but they could be about to stop Uruguay going through. That after 2010 would be a small crumb of comfort. The ball's back to the goalkeeper. They've got about 15 seconds left, Uruguay. They're playing it through up towards halfway. Now they thump it long. The keeper's asked to come and get it. He will get it. Time now added on. He knocks it long and downfield. Referee will have a look at his watch. Uruguay need a goal and they've not got the ball. The South Korean fans are praying. They are praying that Ghana hold on here. Ghana are attacking. Maybe one consolation goal for them. They've got a corner. No, it's a goal kick, says the referee, and still we go on.
Unbelievable. They've just got to get this ball forward. You can see the referee helping on.
Flicked on, a good flick on as well. They were brought down. This is a free kick 30 yards out. A free kick for Uruguay. In time added on and time added on. Gomez is brought down. And this is it. This is Uruguay's chance. Still the South Korean players and fans look on. Uruguay, what do they do here, Mickey Gray? Surely too far out for a shot, or is it?
Mark, surely this can't happen again between these two nations. We're at the final minute. We're over the 8 minutes of added on time. I mean, this would be a magical moment if it does happen for Uruguay. They know exactly what they need.
Suarez can't look. Valverde, you'd fancy from this kind of range. We saw him crash the woodwork earlier on in the group games. It's going to be De La Cruz, I think, who's lined it up, right-footed. Nicolas De La Cruz of River Plate, maybe 26, 27 yards out. Everybody else walks away. This is the moment of De La Cruz. He has the shot and he's straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. And now we await the whistle. The celebration surely will be all South Korea's. They've achieved the impossible. And the careers of Luis Suarez and Edinson Cavani at international level may be over. Suarez had the last laugh when Ghana met Uruguay 12 years ago, but this time it's he who is in tears. The South Korean celebrations begin. They beat Portugal, and crucially Uruguay couldn't get another goal. They're berating the players, the referee. This is so unseemly at the end of it. Uruguay had their chances. They rested on their laurels at 2-0. They didn't go for a third goal and have been made to pay. Uruguay are out. South Korea are through. It ends here. Ghana 0, Uruguay 2.